Welcome to On the Edge with April Mahoney Brains. Here, this is the spot where the conversation is pointed, the guests are sharp, and the responses are never dull. Welcome home, Brains. There's only one requirement to hang out on the edge, is that you open your big brain and close your small mind. Did you bring your thinking caps? It's time to put them on, because the conversation starts now.
Thank you so much, Sister Brown. Wait a minute. I can't find my postcard. Brains, you know where you are. I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you here in a minute as soon as I find it. But I got Nurse Jean right there with us. She is the business, okay? Gina Turner. I want to make sure I got that name right. We was
If you're
talking about
nasty.
exactly. I know. We was talking about growing things in the garden. She says she can't grow nothing. I told her to start with tomatoes. You can never go wrong with a tomato. But girl, I had me some critters in the backyard. Now, and that's something that you're gonna have to be concerned with. I had some cotton picking lizards and a squirrel. And I try to be nice. I saw a little squirrel, and I said, "Oh, he's so cute. Let me leave him some nuts." Next thing I know, that little sucker had eaten my strawberries. He had eaten my lettuce. He was eating tomatoes, and he was just as fat, and he was just getting kind of big. I told my husband, I said, "We're not going to kill him, okay? We're going to catch him and take him back to the park."
There you go.
Baby, I gave him a talking to that he'll never forget. I made a video of it. I told him I want you and your family members to get to getting and don't come back. Big old bites out the tomato. I mean, he was living large.
Ooh.
He was living large. So you have to watch that. So whatever you grow, try to have it contained and watch it or whatever, because you don't want to put any pesticides on it.
No,
You
that's
know,
defeating the purpose.
it's defeating the purpose. My father says, "Oh, okay, well, you think you're so smart. You're growing something, but it's toxic soil or toxic water." And I said, "You know what? You're really a Debbie Downer, Dad." Don't mess with my garden. I'm trying to grow something. I'm trying to do something right. I'm a city girl. I don't know nothing about that. Where were you born and raised?
Jamaica, Queens, New York in the
Oh,
house.
Lord. Okay, but so there's not a lot of gardens in Jamaica, Queens either.
Not back in the day, now in Manhattan and on top of the projects on the roofs they
All
got this thing they trying to make little gardens, but nah, not when I was coming up. No.
community gardens, and it
There
really
you go.
it's great because all the fast food and the junk and all that stuff that's going on. But I'm so glad to have you here with me on the edge, the place where the conversation is pointed, the guests are sharp, and the responses are never dull. Brains, let me tell you about this woman. I love her, and when I found her, I loved her even more. She is a nurse and a former nurse, 25 years in the Army. I'm going to ask about the Army because not me. I couldn't do it, okay? They try to break me down. I cry, or either I would just be so insubordinate that they would kick me out. I don't know if I have the discipline. You got to have a certain kind of discipline and a chutzpah to be able to do that. And also in a male-dominated environment. You got to hold up. You got to hold your ground. Health awareness. That is her message right now, because she is also a survivor of cancer. And so we're going to talk a little bit about that. Her coaching. She's an author. She got a radio show and a podcast. Okay. She said she want to be like me. I want to be like her. So let's welcome her to the edge, Gina Turner. How you doing?
What's up, April? Thank you so much for having me on your show. I'm excited, girlfriend.
I'm excited. I'm excited to have you too. I've had a lot of your colleagues and your friends, and everybody's kind of been intermingling, and it is just a powerful network of women that you have there. They want visibility. They want to have that contact, and you guys are doing a great job. So I commend all of you.
Hooah, as we say in the Army.
So take us back. Take us back to the beginning, to from Jamaica, Queens, and then to the Army, and where you are now.
Wow, girlfriend. So, product of the early 60s, raised in the projects in Jamaica, Queens, New York. Knew I didn't want to I love my parents, but I knew I wanted more. And so I detoured a little bit, right? I graduated high school. Actually, I was a legal secretary and typist on Wall Street for a bunch of insurance brokers at the
Oh
World
wow.
Trade Center. That was my first job out of high school. And then married young, started my family. I married someone. I married a homeboy who went in the military, right? So then I left college, traveled, get married, traveled, was my wife, and then ended up a nurse because where we were stationed at, where he was stationed at the time, I ain't gonna say where because it's still back in Mayberry era. I couldn't find a job.
Maybe was it Ed B and Opie and all of them?
Yeah, back then it was. Back then it was in the early 80s. It sure was. And I couldn't find a job doing what I was doing at the World Trade Center. So I took a nursing assistant program, got certified as a nursing assistant, loved it so much, and went back and got my nursing degree.
It takes a certain kind of person to be a nurse. Nurses and teachers are my favorite people on the planet.
There's a reason why the teachers and nurses are the top two most trusted professionals.
They are. And right now here in California, it's such a big kerfuffle. Well, I guess it's everywhere. I guess it's been mandated that they got to get the injection. And I got it. And I'm not gonna try to convince nobody, but healthcare workers protecting themselves and the people that they serve. I hate that it's mandated, but I look at other mandates. Your seatbelt, no cell phones, no drunk driving. All of those are mandates too that have protected and saved lives. People have underlying medical conditions. It's tough. It's really tough to make that decision. What's your feelings about that? You don't have to tell me pro or con, you want to do the injection or not, but just overall, the grand scheme of things, I think it is kind of unfair to force them to do it, but that's the profession they're in.
Yeah, so my take on that is this. I'm about medical freedom. I think here in the United States, we should continue to have the right to choose what we believe is best for us as individuals. However, I do understand the mandate because you want to do the greatest good for the greatest amount of people, got it tracking, but we still need to maintain medical freedom because isn't that what this country's supposed to be about? Isn't that what me and my colleagues and those before us have fought and died for? Freedom, right? Democracy.
Right.
So I'm kind of torn between the two. And I'll admit I have not got the vaccine yet, but guess what? I feel led by spirit to get the vaccine, led by our creator to get it. So I'm getting the first dose tomorrow.
Okay. All right. And we just put the blood of Jesus all on that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hey, they claimed it. Do you know which one you're getting?
Oh, yeah. My docs recommend Pfizer.
Yeah, I got Pfizer. Now, the first shot, girl, felt like bricks was on my arm.
Ooh.
And yeah, it was so I don't know. My nurse said that they sent cheap needles, whatever that means. She said the needles weren't that expensive, and that's probably why it hurts. But, and then I came home and I laid my butt down. I wasn't trying to do nothing extraneous. I was trying to check my temperature to see if there was any kerfuffle, and I was going right back to the emergency room.
What's that word?
Kerfuffle. A kerfuffle. A problem.
Okay.
So, and then the second shot I slept for about 12 hours.
Wow.
But I wasn't playing with it. But I have been to other countries, girl, and got a shot for malaria and yellow fever, and I don't know what's in that either. I don't know.
But that's what I had to think. You know what? And I think God has a sense of humor because one night I heard him say to me, "You taking that pill, ain't you?" And then remind me of, in the military, you get shot up, but I done had anthrax, yellow fever, you name it. I done had it all, right? I ain't know what was in there. And I think with me being a nurse, sometimes when you in healthcare, you know too much, and then you start trying to reason within your own self, X, Y, and Z, and overthinking things. And that's the Virgo in me too. I'm a September baby, so we overthink on top of all
I know.
that.
Well, my husband was telling me that the military is cold-blooded, though. He said he would avoid the shot, and then they told him, you know what? You cannot get your check until you get your shot.
That's old school military. That's right. That's old school military. But now what they do is they want to threaten you with Article 15s and being insubordinate and all of that.
Wow. But again, look at what happened at those military ships that ran rapid with COVID. And this is the invisible devil. And like I know, Gene Turner, we've been fighting the invisible devil our entire life.
Look, yep, yep, yep.
What
You
has this
right
taught
about
you?
that.
What has this taught you? Just this time to sit back, reflect, not do nothing, not go nowhere, not spend no money. What has it taught you?
Look, for me, I'm gonna tell you, I've been one of these people that even then, when everything else is shut down, this has been the second most productive season in time in my life. But it has taught me that, it's okay not to be busy. It's okay
Yeah.
because a lot of times we just busy, busy, busy doing stuff, but we not being productive. We just being busy. And I really think it's quite the attention grabber. I know for me, it has been and made me to reprioritize some stuff and just see clarity and know that I ain't got to be doing stuff all the time.
What have you accomplished?
Well, I wrote another book.
Where's it at? Let me see it.
There must be balance. Yo,
wait. Hold, no, turn it up. Yeah, hold it there so folks can see it. Ooh, wait a minute, the glare is good.
That glare. Let me do this side. There we go.
Yeah, ooh, that's a pretty cover too. That's beautiful.
Thank you. So that happened, and look, April, 3 weeks. 3 weeks time.
Really? Oh, that was on your heart.
3
Girl,
weeks.
I learned how to crochet again.
I ain't learned that, and I used to love doing that as a kid. That's what I should have been doing because it was so relaxing.
No, you should have been writing that book. But I really did because I could multitask. I could binge on Netflix, put one hand to popcorn and the other one to crocheting. It was a lot of fun. It was really fun.
Cool.
But I've also really kind of, I lost my mother about 4 months ago.
Oh no, my condolences.
Thank you. But you know what? It was a rite of passage. I saw her soul separate from her body. She was tired of taking all those medications and being probed and probed. So I gave her permission to go. She gave me permission to stay. And it was really, I'm bent, but I'm not broken. It was really a beautiful, beautiful thing because she was here with me. I didn't have to put her in an assistant care facility with a bunch of strangers. She wasn't a tumor in 405. She wasn't a person they just cleaned up in 201. She was my mother from the beginning to end, and that's why I still feel her presence and her blessings. But you have been blessed because you had to fight cancer. Tell my brains a little bit about that.
Oh wow! So this is why we have to know our bodies and be in tune with our bodies. Because one day I got up, I went in my office, and I was just like, why am I having shortness of breath? Why am I feeling this way, right? Granted, I'm in the Army. We do physical training. I'm a marathon runner, half marathon runner. I was like, this making no sense. I'm short of breath, and I'm huffing and puffing, running up a flight of stairs. That is not my norm. I went to the emergency room. They did all the tests. Everything was normal except my chest x-ray. They said, oh, we see a little spot. It's so small. It's like the size of a little pinprick, but the radiologist picked up on it. And so from then it went to monitoring for a couple of months. And then after, check this, about 8 straight months of being under a lot of stress at work, because I had multiple missions going on, it started to grow. So that last scan, they was like, oh my God, it went from a little pinprick to 2.5, almost 3 centimeters. Now it's big enough for us to biopsied it and said it was malignant.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. And so, I wasn't on no medications, healthy as a horse, so to speak, right? No issues whatsoever. So they biopsied it. We scheduled to get it removed. After that, had to start chemo. I went through 9 months of chemo treatments of the most horrific, and this is according to the oncologist, horrific, hardest chemo regimen that they have ever seen, right? Oh. And so went through that, got to ring the bell, May 2019. And then just when I thought I can go back to normal, whatever that was, no such thing. Right. 9 weeks after that, I went into cardiac arrest as a result of the chemotherapy treatments that affected my heart. Yeah. So I said all that because I am a living, breathing testimony.
Yes, you are.
That had I not, been in the state of health that I was in prior to that, we would not probably be having this conversation today,
Hmm.
because how we take care of ourselves during periods of wellness does affect our recovery, it does affect our prognosis. Should we find ourselves in what I call a suddenly, because that happened out the blue, suddenly healthcare crisis.
Exactly. And it just seems like African Americans are the target for everything. Okay, so everybody got heart disease, everybody got sugar diabetes. They say these things, well, maybe not heart disease so much, but diabetes is reversible. It's eating, it's your eating habits. It is your lack of exercise, sitting in front of the computer, sitting there crocheting with your hand in the popcorn, watching Netflix. Yes, I'm a victim. I've done it. I've done it. And it's not cute. And I look at myself in the mirror sometimes and I say, you know what, April, you deserve better. You deserve to treat yourself better. Don't expect the doctor to do something that you can't do and won't do for yourself.
Ooh.
You got the warning signs, you've got all this information, you got coaches like Nurse Jean that are there to help you and to facilitate it, but no, you're going to be stuck on stupid. You still don't want to do it. And you have that military discipline. How would you get somebody like me, get their butt in line? What would you say, officer?
Well, see, that right there, see, that's why a lot of people don't know how to take me, because I'm not going to play with it, because your health matters, right? And so one of the first things I'm going to tell you is you need to figure out your why. You want to do X, Y, and Z. You got grandkids or kids. You want to see graduate college. You want to see grandkids. You want to travel the world. You want to spend all that money that you've been saving for your retirement years. But how you look spending your retirement years sick and weak and can't do nothing because you're not disciplined enough to at least take it one step at a time, one day at a time, to make small changes. So here I am. I'll be your accountability partner. And I'm going to take my military boot, the bottom of my boot. And if I have to kick you in the backside to get you to wake up, then that's what I'm going to do. Because you know what, April, it's time out for sugarcoating stuff, okay? People are dying, especially our people, right? Our culture, our race, and let's not even get into the social determinants of health, how they try to keep our communities without the necessary resources and what we need in our communities. We ain't even going there right now.
Or use us as lab rats, because the first thing they wanted to do, the first place they wanted to try, they going to Africa and India. And these are the indigenous original people on the earth. So they say, oh, well, hell, if the Negroes and the Africans and the Indians don't die, then I guess it's okay for everybody else.
Look, let's keep it real. This is real talk. And that's what I love about your show. Real talk. Think about the Tuskegee experiment. And then they wonder why many of us didn't want to take the vaccine.
Wait, right? I got a story about that real quick. And I normally don't disclose this stuff. So I started a clinical trial. My friend asked me, she said, there's no black people. Can you please do this? So I go in, I'm getting ready for the clinical trial. And I see the doctor come in. He got the vial, he got the needle. He gonna numb the area. He's gonna take a little biopsy, right? I said, may I see the vial before you do the injection? It's just this, that, and that. I said, no. May I see the vial before you give me the injection? You don't trust me? I said, absolutely not. I don't know you. Exactly. This is a clinical trial. You waiting to see what the reaction is to what I'm gonna do. And I said, do you remember what happened in Tuskegee? Girl, he knew some of the doctors that was involved in that. And he's sitting there and got the vial with me. So I don't care what you say. No, I don't trust. I'm not going to give you 100% of my trust. I'm going to question you. I'm going to take down your name. Hell, if I can get your mama name, I'm going to get that too.
Look. But that's what being a patient advocate is all about. Advocating for yourself and your health care and that's speaking out. Speaking out and speaking up. Doctors don't know everything. That's why they practicing. What do they say? Doctors practice medicine. Hello?
It's not a perfect science.
No. And it changes every day. If you basing your health right now on stuff that came out more than 5 years ago, you behind the power curve.
Yep, you are. And then if you don't have no money, you can't follow up. You don't have the resources in your community. There's, you got a little clinic, that might be able to do something every now and then. You can't get your medication. I was in the pharmacy picking up some medicine for my mother, and I was in tears. This woman was standing there. She went to pick up her medicine. He said, "Oh, that'll be $120. And she looked and she said, "I don't have $120. She said, "Well, can you give me a fourth? A fourth, not half." And I was going to pay for it for her. Okay. But then I got to thinking, okay, what's going to happen next month? Yeah. And the month after? These drug companies, big pharma, got you locked up. And Brains, newsflash. I love to give y'all a newsflash. Well people are not big business. Sick people are big business.
Come on here.
And it's cause and effect. One is going to, deteriorate your liver. You get constipation. My poor aunt can't go to the bathroom to save her life. You are just all kinds of stuff is going on. Now, that is on the flip side. But also, now there are experimental drugs. There's minimally invasive surgeries that they're doing now. They used to have to cut your chest all open and break your ribs to get to your heart. Now they can do it with a little cannula. Back surgeries. So there is a lot of advancement in medicine. But help me, Nurse Jean, figure out the duality, because I know that you are more of the holistic approach, but holistic approach takes a long time. And it is something that it's a lifestyle change. It's not something you can just take. You can't take a pill like you took, chemotherapy pill and be okay and ring the bell. This has got to be who you are for the rest of your life.
Come on. I'm so glad you said that, April. It's a lifestyle, because too many times, right? Let me give you an example. How many people be like, "Oh yeah, I juiced my beets and my kale this morning," right? But then for lunch and dinner, they had a Big Mac, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun with a milkshake, a large milkshake. Matter of fact, they supersized it. Come on now. Come on.
Okay, so it's a contradiction, because I do juice, but then I make me some smothered pork chops and some rice and some cornbread and all that. So yeah, I'm not consistent across the board. I'm doing this, and that's what my body is doing. Body say, "Oh, good, we on a good start this morning," but then we got to break down all this stuff in the afternoon. Hopefully she can eliminate before she go to sleep, and she better not eat nothing after 7:00, because she's not giving her body the time to fast.
That's why it's got to be a lifestyle. And I'm not talking about those that, every now and then, they say, life is too short, and there's a lot of great food out here, right? Once a week, go if you want to go full throttle. If your numbers are good, though, that ain't for you. If your blood sugar is 600 and your blood pressure 200 over 140, I ain't talking about you with moderation. You got to make sure your numbers are straight. Once you get your numbers straight, and I mean stable and consistently stable, then once a week or so, treat yourself, right? But April, I had to stop telling people do stuff in moderation, because moderation means different things to different people.
Girl, okay. It's like, okay, does it take you that one drink to get you fired up, or do it take a half gallon? What is your thing? What is your trigger?
Your jam? Exactly. And that's it. What are your triggers? You got to figure out what your triggers are. 2:00, what is your triggers? Because you done ate too many refined sugars at lunch, and now you sleepy 3 in the afternoon, but you don't get off work till 6, and now you need a quick pick me up. What's your trigger to make you go to the snack machine and get whatever at that time of day? It goes back to your triggers, your habits, and I ain't trying to do a coaching session here, but I think you get the drift. It's got to become a lifestyle.
It has to be a way of life. It has to be a way of life. So tell us a little bit about your podcast and your radio show. What is the focus? Is this something that I need? I'm gonna have to put that on speed dial. I'm gonna have to have it programmed in, because you are just lighting my fire right now, and I need an accountability coach.
So look, Health Chat with Coach Jean is where we debate, we debunk these myths, we educate, empower, inspire, and bring awareness to all things related to health, healing, and a holistic well-being, body, mind, soul, and spirit. And the radio show is here locally in Atlanta on 1570 WIGOAM, and then my global podcast on Thursdays. Yeah, and so you can live stream it on the internet. I'm always posting the links on my page, my social media pages. But yeah, it's to bring awareness. My guests vary. I have everyday, ordinary people that come on and share their testimony, their story, how they overcame a health crisis or challenge. I have doctors. I have other medical professionals on. Just this week, I had a Dr. Balone, and we talked about acupuncture, the benefits of acupuncture. So yeah, it's across the health spectrum.
That's
it really,
wonderful.
Really is.
That is wonderful because again, people want variety, options, and choices. I had somebody that was on my show, love them to death. I got this vegan restaurant. I love it. Girl, I try to cook me some vegan stuff, tastes like straw. But you have to figure out what it is. And one thing that I have found out about myself is that I am full of bloat, and inflammation. So before I could actually lose the weight, I needed to get that inflammation down. And I had to figure out what was the culprit. I'm a bread lover. I love me some bread, peanut butter and jelly, but I was eating too much bread because I'd have a piece of toast. Then I'd have a sandwich. Then I'd have a dinner roll. Well, hell, there's 4 pieces of bread right there in the course of one day.
Right there, and it's all white bread.
Right,
oh my God!
It was white and it was brown, but it was full of glutens. No matter what. So what I started doing is I started keeping a food journal.
Good.
Okay, and I'm gonna tell you, Brains, I just love y'all so much. I'm gonna self-disclose. Girl, Dr. G, I looked at that journal one day. I'm embarrassed. I shouldn't even say this. I had put 45 things in my cotton picking mouth in one day. Look, see the look on your face? That was a look on my face too.
No judgment, April.
Oh yes. Baby, there is judgment up in there. I'm judging myself, okay? 45 things. Now I'm talking about a little pistachio. I counted the bread, I counted the egg, I counted each piece of bacon. That was separate. I had, some cookies, and I had some more cookies, and I want one more cookie. I had juice. People forget that they drink their calories. They don't think about that.
Come on.
They do not think about the refills of the beverages. They don't think about the carbonation that causes the bloat. They don't think about how nasty those dispensers are, that they don't clean them tubes.
Ugh.
And you done got a soda, okay? They don't think about that.
No, they don't.
Okay, so I thought about that. Then I said, oh, okay, well, then I'll treat myself. I've had all this junk. Let me go have some fruit. Then I'm sitting here talking to, somebody and this, that, and the other. Well, at the end of the day, it was 45 things, but baby, it was a wake-up call like no other. I was ashamed of myself. I was really ashamed of myself. But I was ashamed in a good way because it was self-actualization.
Come on.
It was the reality of this is what I have become. And then one of my guests said to me, well, honey, are you eating for entertainment? And I was like, well, hell, maybe I am. Because I'm just doing something. I wasn't unhappy, or I didn't think I was unhappy.
Right.
I wasn't, depressed.
Bored.
But
right.
I must have been bored because I just kept putting it in my mouth. Well, I really started documenting that. Mm-hmm. The next day, it was half of that.
Wow.
And that was the whole thing. And I tell you, no, sir. No, sir. No, sir.
But I want to commend you because that's one of the first things I recommend when I'm working with a client regarding their eating habits, because it is a self-actualization exercise, right? And look, none of us are perfect. None of us are perfect. I mean, about 2 weeks ago, I went to Whole Foods and they got these little almond and peanut chocolate clusters that I like. So
for $5 a pound.
Yeah. I mean, look, it's a little expensive, but okay. That's one little guilty pleasure, but it's worth it, right? because I don't have to worry about the regular chocolate so much and all the other stuff that would be in a Hershey's bar if I got that. You know what I'm saying? But I sat there and every night I kept telling my husband, get this bag away from me, help me out because of that freaking good. But in a week's time, that whole bag was gone. And I have not been back to Whole Foods.
Nope, nope. And people,
I treated myself. I don't do that all the time.
no. Well, and you know what? Until I kept that food journal, I didn't realize how I was treating myself or how I was mistreating myself. Okay, because that's what that was all about. It wasn't about, doing something good for myself. So girl, I went and got me a hula hoop.
Oh,
shoot. Okay, I'm telling you, that waistline is getting tight again because I'm getting down on the bloat. Them hips is doing good. Mr. Magnificent is one happy boy. He said, go on, baby. It's time to do your hula hoop. So, I'm doing that for myself, but I switch it up. Me and my daughter, we just dribble a basketball. We play, just a little one-on-one. We go for a walk. I ride my bike. So I incorporate different things that I enjoy. I don't want to become a mechanical animal. And now I'm talking to my plate. I get a smaller plate and I say, oh, it's too much white on here. Let me add some more green, or let me do this, or let me do that. Your elimination.
Right.
Women are the most constipated things on the planet. They don't eliminate. You are supposed to eliminate at least twice a day.
At least.
But no, they're not doing it. They're, and they're not eating properly. And all of that junk is
toxins.
Right.
That's what they are.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what? And when you eat the meat, I had somebody else on my show. Girl, I'll tell you, my show got everything. They were cattle farmers. And I asked them, I said, how long is that meat dead before it gets to the grocery store? They told me at least 3 to 4 weeks. Oh, but don't worry, it's being cured and it's being this and it's being that. Well, the animal's been dead. And then it's on the shelf. Then it comes in, stuck it in the freezer for 2 or 3 months or, 2 or 3 weeks. So what we put in our body, we are what we eat. That is just as simple as that. You know?
And food is medicine.
It is. So what is your diet like? I mean, what do you reduce your meat consumption? Do you reduce alcohol? Do you watch your carbs? What are just some quick tips that you would give people just to be aware of? Because everybody's not going to extract everything. If I extract everything, I'd be one mean booger. And I don't want to do that to nobody. So I had to do it gradually.
Well, that's why I treat myself every now and then to them chocolate, peanut, and almond clusters at Whole Foods. Because look, you got to treat yourself sometimes, right? But Coach Jean's diet, especially being a cancer conqueror, is this. I am probably about 95% plant-based. The only meat I consume is occasional lobster tail, wild salmon, and wild shrimp. Why those 3? Because I can get them wild, not farmed. I don't touch farmed fish, none of that, because the antibiotics and all the hormones and all the other crap that is added to farmed meats and farmed products. And I drink water or my herbal tea. I don't touch sodas. I used to be a connoisseur of wine, but until I find one that doesn't have all the sugar that normal wine has, I don't drink that except a little bit on a special occasion. But for me being a cancer conqueror, I don't need refined sugar. Sugar is the devil. So I don't do white foods, no white rice, no white breads, no white pastas, none of that. I eat a lot of nuts. I'm basically plant-based except for those 3 forms of seafood I told you about. And I drink water and herbal teas all day, every day. And I take my little few supplements.
Okay, well, let me get on to this trickery, okay? Because I call it trickery. You go down the grocery aisle and you got fat-free and sugar-free and organic and, the gluten-free and all this. I don't know if any of that's free. You can't tell me that it is, organic. I don't know where it's come from. So, of course, we're paying more money because we want the quality foods, and we're going to go to high-end grocery stores like the Gelson's and the Trader Joe's and the Whole Foods and all that kind of stuff. But also, what you need to do is come home and clean that stuff. I put a little vinegar and water on everything to like an apple. I put a little drop of Dawn, wipe that off. Girl, you would be surprised at how the apple feels so much different after you done got that wax off of it. The cucumbers, your lettuce, you get these prepackaged salads. People just pour it in their plate. That's E. coli. You don't know what's going on. So, not to be paranoid, but you need to be cautious. It's not just the meat. It can also be the produce.
That's
and
right.
I've learned to shop the outer perimeter of the grocery store. It was difficult because I was looking down that Twinkie aisle. And I was like, ooh, I was looking at them and they was looking at me and they was like, and I was like, I'm not even going to go down the aisle. So, I pulled back on that, processed lunch meats. Now what I've done, I just cooked a big old turkey. Now I got turkey sandwiches.
Good.
I got away from, from pork.
Good.
Because there's a lot of stuff going on. So I'm conscious of it. But my challenge is consistency. And consistency makes the cake rise. I'll do good for a week. And then, somebody tore up our car the other night. What did I do? I came in, I made me a sandwich. It was comforting. So I am an emotional eater, and I had to identify with that. I didn't really think I was. So, Brains, you got to sit down and you got to tick the boxes. You got to come real with it 100%. Why am I eating? What am I eating? How am I eating? How much am I eating? Portion control. Am I working it off? Am I eliminating it? Am I telling the truth, Coach Gina?
You look, you spot on, April. You are spot on. I mean, I am look. You go ahead and coach. Go ahead and coach.
Shoot, no, I want to lose the weight. And what I've started also doing is visualizing what I want to look like when all of this is condensed. What do I want to look like? But I tell you something. I had lost some weight once before, and I went through a whole metamorphosis in my mind of feeling not worthy. And I was like, now I know this ain't ego me. I wasn't worthy of not losing the weight. My clothes was fit. It was weird. So you got to be prepared for that psychological adjustment. But that's where coaches like you come in, because you also work with the mindset.
The mindset matters. Look, and that's why I love what you just said, because it is a process, right? And you know what? When you get your mind right up here, okay, let's think for a moment. When we think about something we really, really, really want to do, because the bottom line is we pick and choose what we really want to do, and we find a way to make it happen. We do it. We don't care what we got to do to make it happen by any means necessary. Now, take that same mindset, right, and apply it to your well-being by any means necessary. Sometimes that means we got to go through a mental detox. That's what I like to call it, a mental detox. And that includes detoxing your mind of all those negative thoughts, negative self-worth, pride sometimes, low self-esteem, all of that. Because who puts in the mind what we can and cannot do? And why even give somebody, we do that to ourselves. We self-sabotage ourselves. And we've got to get out of that self-sabotaging mindset. I have to tell you, April, and this is what I'm noticing in my profession, that many people don't even want to hear the conversation we're having right now, because they going about their business, they trying to make their dollars, collect them coins and everything. No one really wants to get down and dirty and really pay attention to this conversation until they're sick, until they find themselves in a suddenly health crisis, as I did. Then that grabs people's attention. But why you want to wait till then? Why not try to
Absolutely.
practice prevention?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And practice what you preach and make a promise to yourself. That's what I did. I'm not making a promise to him, to her, to none of that. I'm going to make a promise to myself. And if I don't care about myself and do what I need to do for me, then anything I do is not going to work. Being hypnotized, gastric bypass,
None of that.
none of that's going to work. Let me ask you one more thing before we conclude.
Okay.
I am not my hair. Okay? You are beautiful. Your hair is to your scalp. Your face is glowing. It's radiant. You know, that is the trend now. Women are really shaving their head bald. Now, when you went through chemotherapy, you know, you probably lost your head and all that. How did you feel when you looked at yourself in the true essence of who you are?
Oh my God. I'm gonna have to be honest with you. It was such an eye opener for me, right? Because I had hair long like yours. And then when it
Oh,
started
long like my hair option, girl. This is please. I got an afro, a wig on.
okay.
This is Gigi right now.
Okay, Gigi. You working Gigi now. But look, when that time came, it's strange because I went to do like this because I used to wear a bun. And literally my hair started peeling from my scalp like if you was pulling back a rug.
Oh my God.
And so that started the process. And then I said, because I was already expecting to lose it. So then I told my husband to take me to the barber shop. Let me try to cut it as low as I can go, right? Without totally being bald. And then finally one day I said, you know what? It's going to happen. It's already started happening. And I had my husband, he came home from work one day. I told him to shave it off. Shave it bald like your hair, because my husband sports a bald head.
Mm-hmm. My husband too.
And so I had already had it in my mind, you know, this was going to happen. So when he did it, and I looked in the mirror, I reckon I realized then, you know what, girl, you are not your hair. You are still the soldier. You still the woman. You still the warrior. You still all of that you was prior when you had hair.
Absolutely.
And so then my twin sons who live local, they came by and they was like, well, mine looks good. You know, it looks great. It's fine. And just embraced it along with me. We even took a picture right after he shaved it off. But I didn't let it define me.
You look at people like Jada Pinkett Smith. She just shaved her head bald. What's the other one? Tiffany Haddish.
Tiffany Haddish. Right.
You know, and they are finding a new sense of awareness. They're finding clarity inside that brain. So, you know, but we've always been taught, I know I was as a Black woman, ooh, you don't cut your hair, honey, because your hair is your glory. You know, you know, your crown. And you know what happened with Samson and Delilah when they cut his hair, he lost his power and all that kind of stuff. But there's something up under that hair, brains. And if you want to be like Gigi, you can go get her for $35. I went natural. I did, because the toxins in these chemicals that are no longer manufactured by Black manufacturers, but over in China that don't know nothing about Black folks, putting that lye, chemicals, dyes. It is increasing women's dementia. It is causing them to have headaches. Your hair will fall out if it wasn't coming out already. There's a lot of things. It's seeping inside your hair. And I know women that get their hair religiously dyed every 6 weeks. Get that perm, get that, as they call it, conking. They get the conking every 6 weeks. 8 weeks. You can't get a bump or a crinkle at the root. And so you have to be careful with that too. That is a part of your health. The topicals that you put on your skin, the lotions, because, you know, I love me some lotion, girl. Yes, I do. But I will use olive oil, coconut oil, you know, the true essence of what that is. And then you got some folks, I ain't going to call them out, but girl, their skin look like lizards. Well, really, because they've been out in the sun just toasting and roasting. They never exfoliate that. Your skin is your biggest organ. Am I right or wrong?
Come on, you are right. And look, Black people burn too. Okay, don't get it twisted. Black people burn too. I found that out in 1995 when I first went in the Army, I was at Fort Lost in the Woods, Missouri, and I burnt, girl, looking like an alligator, a lizard, all of that combined in
Mm,
one. And
mm,
that's when I figured
mm,
out, coming from the project, oh yeah, you burn. Oh yeah. So we
mm.
burn too. Don't get it
Wow.
twisted.
Yeah,
And
they
going
do.
back to that lie, and back in the day, they used to call it, say you have your hair fried, dyed, and laid to the side.
Yeah, you was
All them
smoking it.
chemicals.
They used to put it. My brother used to do that. Him and Billy Preston, because he sang with Billy Preston and all them girls had the potatoes and the lye,
Come
and put
on.
that in their head. And ooh, ooh, it's hot, it's hot, it's hot. You're frying your scalp, brains.
Exactly. And it causes fibroids too.
Mm.
Fibroids, one of the leading causes of fibroids. Look who got the highest percentage of women with fibroids. Guess what
Black
ethnicity?
women, black women. And then wait, you got the fibroids, and you get in there and find you got endometriosis that they
Come
couldn't
on.
diagnose.
Come on. And then after a couple of more years, oh, you got ovarian cancer
Yeah,
or what? Look,
yeah.
look. Can we stop the madness? Can we stop the madness? Know your self-worth. Know who you are and whose you are, and your hair does not define you.
It
Period.
doesn't. It really doesn't. But you define excellence. You really do. And I have enjoyed being with you so much here on the Edge. Brains, did y'all take notes? Because if you didn't, you can rewind. Okay? This has been so fun. I got goose pimples. I love you from the bottom of my socks, sister, because my heart just isn't deep enough. And that's the truth.
Oh,
That's
thank
the
you
truth.
so much.
And I'm so glad that you whooped cancer and continue to thrive, continue to do what you're doing, continue to be an advocate, continue to check in on me.
Yes, yes.
Because I'm gonna get it down. I got it. I got the blueprint.
You
But
got
you know
it
what?
though, sis.
But see, this is the deal. I'm an engineer. I got the blueprint. But now I need to construct it, and I need to, raise the temple. I need to
Come
do
on.
that.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's the promise that I'm gonna keep to myself.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna keep it to you. I'm not gonna keep it to Mr. Magnificent. I'm gonna keep it to me.
Right.
That's all I can do. And if I fall short of the glory, I'm not gonna beat myself up over it.
Right.
I'm not gonna do that.
That's
But
right.
I am gonna be conscious of it, and I will tell you one thing: 45 things will never cross these lips in the course of a day ever again. Ever again, okay? Now that is a promise that I will keep to you, the world, and brains hold me accountable. So thank you so much, Gene. Please tell my brains how to get in contact with you, follow you, sign up, do everything with you. Buy that book. Put that book up again. I want y'all to go buy that book. Okay, so what's in the pages of the book, real quick?
What's in the pages of the book?
Yeah.
Look. Health from a holistic perspective. Your mindset matters.
Ooh.
The 9 dimensions of wellness. And look, there must be balance, work-life balance, and then be about that life.
Yeah,
and
you gotta be about
section, it. Yeah, also a section where I have you ponder on some questions and journal.
Okay.
So yeah.
So again, she's from Jamaica, Queens. She knows. She know exactly what the get down is all about. And I'm from South Central LA. Okay?
Hey.
So you can't get no more raw and uncut than us two.
Come on.
We know. And I've enjoyed you so much. Thank you so much, baby.
Thank you so much for the opportunity to be on your wonderful show. Peace and health.
Yep. Well, you're going to keep me accountable. This ain't the first time.
Yeah.
I'm out there now. I got my marching orders, literally.
Come on. I'm going to have to DM you and give you a little kick.
Exactly. And I'm just going to show you, because that's my motto. I can show you better than I can tell you.
Come on.
Brains, get to showing and tell it, okay? No lying and jiving here on the Edge. Thank you so much. I love you, darling.